6-week vacation, right? On January 1st, 2020, we started out our vacation at 10 a.m. after our communion service at the United Church of Cohoes, driving to Orlando, Florida. This vacation is special as we will travel for 6 weeks. Like all trips I take, I'm on an adventure, never knowing how far we'll travel in one day. When we see something of interest, we stop to explore. I'm also happy to visit friends and family. On this trip, we have Pastor Nick, his wife Bert, and myself driving and listening to our first of 7 audiobooks. Our first selection will be The Seekers, which is a story of an Amish cooking class. We normally travel in Nick's oversized camper, stopping each evening at campgrounds, always with a grand campfire to end the day. This vacation is different than others since we are in a car, eating out more and staying with friends or motels along the way. I'm sitting behind Bert on the passenger side. While we are on the road, I'm the one making the sandwiches and giving out drinks, snacks, and fruit. When we can, we travel secondary roads to see small towns and their sights. We stopped the first night at Good Friends, Sheila and Dave's home in Wilmington, North Carolina. Sheila and Dave attended our church in Cohoes and had moved to Wilmington when Sheila retired from her state job. We had stopped for the night the year before. We arrived at their home at 10:30 p.m. and talked about our family and hers. It's always great to see family or friends who don't live near us. If we don't take this opportunity, life goes on, time goes by, and we end up losing what we had. In the morning, we went out to breakfast, a great place where they like to go. They talked me into getting an orange crush to drink. The food was great, a 3-egg omelet with homemade chicken sausage, cheddar cheese and onion, plus fresh fruit. We talked till noon. Back on the road by noon, we are off to next overnight in Brunswick, Georgia at 6 p.m. We started a new audiobook called When Mountains Move by Julie Cantrell. I do not recommend this book. It is boring. Okay. We will be in Orlando within the next 4 hours after a quick workout. While in Orlando, we spent many days at Disney, the happiest place. When you enter, you feel like you are being taken care of and you trust you are safe. It makes you forget about any problems you may have and makes you happy. We visited Weeki Wachee Spring State Park on Thursday, January 16, 2020. This spring is so deep the bottom has never been found, and the current is so strong it can knock the scuba driver's mask off. As I walked a short distance following the path to the theater that was embedded in the lime rock of the spring, I was able to have a seat. I sat viewing windows in front of us below the surface of the water, allowing us to watch the mermaids perform in the spring. The mermaids were wearing fishtails as well as other fanciful outfits. They used air hoses to breathe and put on a 30-minute show, dancing underwater. As the show went on, we were told about the springs, that each day 117 million gallons of clear, fresh, 74-degree water bubbles up and out of subterranean caverns. On a great wilderness river cruise, I could see how clear the water was and saw lots of colorful fish. The ranger gave a talk about the park and the wildlife, wild turkeys, deer, and bald eagles. On January 24th, we left Orlando, driving towards Mandeville, Louisiana, stopping again on the way to visit good friends David and Wilma, living in Beverly Hills, Florida, then ending up in Panama City for the night. I was able to stay with my sister and husband for a week. What a good time, since I was able to see my nieces and their husbands and my newest grandniece. Leah is the first grandchild of my sister Mary and her husband Joe. She was born on December 21st, 2020, so she was just 2 months old. Being able to see her for the first time was really special. To be able to hold her and remember when her mom was born over 29 years ago. Next, it was on to Dallas for a church conference for a week, leaving Texas on Thursday, February 6th. We had a good breakfast and were on the road by 8:15 a.m. Pastor Nick drove 850 miles, stopping in Cincinnati where it was snowing. So we knew beforehand that it was snowing. We'd seen it with our own eyes. Friday, February 7th, the last day of our vacation. This would be a difficult driving day. Up early at 5:30 a.m., we had our devotions, then breakfast, then on the road at 6:45 a.m. with Pastor Nick driving in a snowstorm. The storm was real bad in northern Ohio, and he had to be so careful. Fear takes over in a situation like this. Sometimes it's hard to see, so driving slowly was a must. We were watching cars behind us and in front of us, also on both sides. Snow coming down hard at times. You must stay in control of the vehicle as you navigate the roadways. Watch what is under the snow, like black ice, so we would not panic. This went on until we reached I-90. It was still snowing, but not as bad. It let up when we got closer to Cohoes, our home. We prayed starting the day like every day, and when we made it home at the end of the day, we prayed again. On Friday evening, we were back in Cohoes, New York, a total of 6,000 miles. Our vacation had ended. The three of us were already planning our next adventure vacation. We travel a lot. We are family, so we get together often and talk daily. Little did we know that in the middle of March, we would be quarantined, not being able to shop or visit anyone, which would last until May 16th. It felt like a prison being isolated, and the fear of all of this is overwhelming. I'm now looking at my calendar. I have 4 Zoom meetings this week. This keeps me in touch with people I cannot see. My sister, her husband, and I go walking a few times a day. Of course, staying 6 feet away from anyone else. Sometimes I video call Penny or others while on my walk. I walk at least 8 to 15 miles a day. It keeps me in shape and helps with isolation. I feel I have some freedom when I'm on my walks. I have missed my trips with this pandemic, not being able to see many of my friends, not going to many places. Little did I know I would not be attending church. Before the virus, I would be attending church 2 or 3 times a week. Now, I don't know when I will feel it's safe for me to return. Every July, I go on a wine trip to the Finger Lakes. I was talking yesterday to the trip leader. I told her my wine is all gone. I have 1 special bottle left. I don't know when the vaccines will come out and when I will feel safe to receive one. I even worried about going to the VA hospital for my reverse total shoulder replacement. I was in for 4 days. My fear was infection or catching the virus. This fear I have will take a long time to get over. Will we ever return to the normal we knew in January when my 6-week vacation started? Thank you. Great job, Pauline.